Let's go to our caller from the 913 area code. Who's calling today from 913?
Hi, David. Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. Who's this?
Cool. This is Andrew from the Boston area. My question for you is, what can be done to sever the ties between property taxes and school funding? That's my main question for you.
Yeah, this is a great question because you have this perpetuating cycle in a lot of areas where the richer areas with higher property values are often collecting more property taxes. And those taxes are used to fund schools, which make those schools better, which makes more people want to move into those areas, which often drives up property values even more, making the properties less accessible. And you get situations that essentially, I mean, the interview earlier this week with Daniel Markovits about the idea of a meritocracy not being what we had, not being ideal in its extreme form, but also not being what we have is related to exactly to this issue. So I've seen different proposals. I mean, to put it very simply, you can find other funding. You could just say property taxes are no longer going to be directly funding the schools. So, for example, property taxes may be pooled or partially pooled at the state level and then redistributed out. Now, not 100%. So if you have a place with really high property taxes, they would send a portion of the taxes to the state. A place with lower property tax receipts would send a portion to the state, and then the state would sort of redistribute more evenly to try to improve the schools that are not quite so good. But of course, the people that are paying the higher property taxes are going to resist that. They're going to say, wait, I'm paying more so that my kids can go to good schools. And by living here, I'm actually helping somebody somewhere else. And that people are going to be furious about that. So if the question is how could it be done mathematically, you'd redistribute. You have a common pool and redistribute. If the question is how do you do it politically, I have no idea.
Yeah, and are there any leaders right now who are running with this kind of at the top of their platform that we can be promoting? That's my second question, and it's kind of hard to understand.
Not that I'm aware
well.
of. I mean,
It's
it's certainly possible. I'm not aware of anybody who's making that their issue, but that doesn't mean it doesn't exist.
All right, great. Thanks, David.
All right, great to hear from you. Excellent question. Thank you for the call. Let's go to our caller from the 985 area code. Who's calling today from 985?
Hi, my name is Christian Madden. I'm calling from Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
What's going on, Christian?
And hey, how you doing? It's kind of hard to hear you, but my question was, so I listen to you and I also listen to Ben Shapiro's show.
Okay.
And so it seems like you guys on some of the same topics, like for instance, like the Trump speeches, y'all have the exact opposite points of view on those.
Shocking.
So I guess my question is, how are those opposite points of view from the two sides like reconcilable in the current climate we're in?
I don't think they are. I mean, I think that it's sadly intractable. I don't watch Ben Shapiro, so I don't know what he said. But earlier this week, I covered Tucker Carlson's reaction to Trump's Mount Rushmore speech, and Tucker Carlson, I think, called it maybe Trump's best speech ever. And what was so interesting to me about it was a speech of rhetoric. It was not a speech of policy. So if what you want to see in a speech is what accomplishments does Trump claim from his first term and what is he going to do in his second term, you didn't get that in Trump's speech. What you got from Trump's speech was dog whistle, red meat rhetoric about we're fighting Marxists and all these crazy, straw men that don't exist. The reason Tucker Carlson liked it was that it was the type of rhetoric that Carlson himself uses to bamboozle his audience. It's essentially what Trump is doing. So we're looking at these things with completely different standards. So I don't know if the views are reconcilable, quite frankly.
Okay. All right. Well, thank you, man. I appreciate your input.
All right. No problem. I mean, it's a very pessimistic response, but I think it's the reality.